Howdy everybody, it's Charles, also known as the Humble Mechanic here. For the last few years, I have been able to be a guest at the CRP booth at Apex. And this year, I am super pumped to be able to hang out on the virtual road tour. For the rest of our time together, CRP members are going to be walking us through what's on the horizon for the CRP family of brands. With that, David, what do you got for us?
Hey everyone, David Hirschhorn here to talk about a few new products we have with the Rhine Automotive product offering. The first I want to discuss is a valve cover for BMW N26 engines. These engines are the super ultra low emission vehicle engines used on the 4-cylinder vehicles in the 2, 3, and 4 series vehicles. The interesting things about this valve cover are, number one, it's made of plastic, so obviously we all know these fail by warping or cracking over time, along with having an integrated breather valve, which often will fail during the course of a vehicle's life. Along with supplying the valve cover, just like you'd get at a dealer, the other things we're doing are we include the eccentric shaft seal sensor, an OE oil cap, as well as the breather hose you need when you're replacing this valve cover. Breather hose is obviously very important because if it's leaking, you're going to get a check engine light, and as you can see, there's quick connect fittings on both ends, as well as O-rings that if you try and use an old one that was on the vehicle for 80,000 miles or longer, chances are you're going to have a leak. It's going to lead to a check engine light. Next two products are, as you can see, some simple coolant hoses for BMW V8s. Very simple hoses, not very expensive, even at the dealer level. The problem is that the fitting that the OEM uses is made of plastic. So what we did is we heard from our Innovation Council members that they're having a huge issue with this. It's not an expensive part. The problem is they're located under the intake manifold, and often it takes about 3 hours to replace these. So what we've done is we've worked with our suppliers to replace that plastic fitting with an aluminum one on our version. So now you've got one where you can replace it once and it's going to last the lifetime of the vehicle. Last product I'd like to talk about is from a new product offering that we've got this year. These are Asian oil pans, both engine and transmission oil pans. This one is a transmission oil pan for Toyota 2.4 liter 4-cylinders used in the late 2000s. As you can see, it's a stamped steel oil pan, so there's a few failure possibilities here. Number one is rust if you live anywhere up in the north. Number two is when you're trying to remove it, it's often easy to damage the sealing surface of the oil pan. The great thing is with the Rhine Automotive offering, not only do you get the pan, you also get the drain plug bolt, and we include the gasket as well, just like we do with all of the oil pans we offer, to make sure that you don't get stuck with a car on the lift or having to run a gasket out to a shop because they don't have it and they need to complete the repair. So that's just a few new parts we've got as part of the Rhine offering. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Everyone have a good one.
So without further ado, Joe, take it away.
Hi, I'm Joe Hansen with CRP Automotive, and I'm here today to talk about our AAE electronic remanufactured steering rack program. In particular, we're going to talk about F-150 steering racks. CRP has coverage from 2011 through 2016. These racks are relatively failure prone from the OEM dealer for various reasons, and they're all slightly different even though they look the same. In this particular case, this rack is for a 2015 through a 2016 model with 4-wheel drive. And as always with any AAE steering rack that we do, we always provide new boots, new clamps. We have the ability to replace the connectors if damaged. We can injection mold new connectors with the plastic, and we always replace the belts and harmonically balance the unit when done. Let's take a look at the next steering rack in our line that we're going to talk about today for Subaru. Okay, let's talk about our Subaru coverage now. CRP Automotive is the only remanufacturer in the aftermarket that has coverage for electronic steering racks for Subarus. We currently have coverage for Imprezas from 2012 through 2016 and coverage for Crosstech from 2013 through 2017. This particular rack is for a Subaru Forester from 2014 through 2016. There's over 500,000 of these on the road today in the United States. These look very similar to the previous rack mentioned. The difference is the turning from lock to lock has differences, so they can't be interchanged. What's kind of unique about the Subarus is that they include this harness as part of the steering rack, and if there's any damage with the harness, CRP has the ability to recreate these connectors and repair the harnesses as well. Every Subaru rack that you get will have a remanufactured harness as well as a remanufactured steering rack, which always will include new O-rings and gaskets as well as boots, clamps, and inner tie rod ends. Okay, let's talk about our BMW coverage. CRP Automotive offers coverage from BMW X3 from 2011 through 2017 and BMW X4 from 2013 through 2018. There's over 250,000 of these vehicles on the road today. These are part of our F line, which F stands for factory direct, meaning these come off the exact same assembly line as the OEM parts. This particular part comes with new outer tie rod ends as an added bonus. Now let's take a look at some new hot parts in our hydraulic steering line. This particular pump fits Toyota Tundra from 2007 through 2020 and includes a brand new pre-installed pulley as well as a brand new return pipe and O-ring. This fits over 1.2 million vehicles that are on the road today, and always with any AAE new product, there is no core charge. Let's talk about the steering rack in front of me. This fits Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra from 1999 through 2007, and there's a whopping 3.8 million of these vehicles on the road today. This is a brand new unit with no core charge. And as with any AAE unit, our inventory is 100% tested in the United States.
So without further ado, hey Mark, what do you got for us?
Hello, I'm Mark Malone, the Pennison Brand Director at CRP Automotive, and today we have two new motor oils to introduce to you. We first have the 0W20 FE for fuel economy. This motor oil has a 3.6% fuel savings compared to conventional motor oils. It comes with the BMW Long Life 17 FE spec as well as the Mercedes 229.71. The BMW spec, LL17 FE, is backwards compatible to the LL14 that you're familiar with. It comes with a recommendation for Volvo motor oils as well. As you can see, we added the specs, the approvals to the front label for better visibility when it's on a store shelf. Our second motor oil is the 5W30 HP2 Plus. You're familiar with our 5W40 HP2. This one has additional performance and additional specs within Mercedes, 229.51 and 229.52. It also has Dexos 2 spec from General Motors. If you get this approval, you have to have it on the front label as you see here. Additionally, the 5W30 HP2 Plus is recommended for the Chrysler MS-11106, which is a popular Jeep application. So these are our two new motor oils. For further information on these motor oils or any Pennison product, please visit our website at pennison.net.
CRP has never been more driven, and hopefully you learned a few things today. Now, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Please feel free to reach out to your CRP representative.